All right, guys, Trendy John from Simpler Trading. We are going to do a lesson on pivot points. This is what I call what some people would say supply and demand on lower time frames. Really, the way that I look at it is institutions on higher time frames, right? And that higher time frame is where I want to align myself with institutional thinking. And on smaller time frames, even though the stuff that I teach is fractal, I don't look at it the same. So when we're talking about anything from 5 to 15-minute time frame, I want to show you how we can approach the market and how you can get into your day just using zones, but understanding my methodology. We're not calling this institutional supply and demand. All right, very, very important for you to understand that. So the first thing we're going to do is let's go to a smaller time frame. We're going to start with a 15-minute chart. And we'll just pull up NVIDIA, for example. And what I want you to do is I'm assuming at this point, you've already watched my videos and you know how to understand how to take uh, and apply the inside and up and down to higher time frames. So when we're looking at entries and profit taking, we're just going to use those pivots for that understanding. Okay. So, for example, notice that NVIDIA at this point, and this is all impromptu right now. Okay. Notice right now we had a pivot high this morning. And if price gets over this, that means we've made a new pivot high and things are great for everybody that's been in NVIDIA for quite some time. Okay. Now, what's happened though so far is you notice that price has pulled back and we have found what I would consider a gap fill, right? Or if you look even closer, this is an inside and up formation. So if I zoom in here, we could use all of these inside and up formations, which also happens to be the gap fill. So if we come over here and fill that in. So on this 15-minute chart, okay, it's the same way if I'm showing you on a daily or a weekly. We can identify zones. So watch this. This right here, okay, is an inside and down, all right? And I'm going to zoom in for you. So if you were going long from the gap fill or the inside and up formation, then my target from here, from this point forward, would have to be anything that's on top of price. So let's just say 15 minutes, you should be getting profits within 15 minutes or you're doing something wrong. Meaning, if you're scalp trading on a 15 using pivots, you should know if you're right or wrong probably within 15 minutes. For example, you hit the zone, boom, it pops up, you're already profitable. Okay. Now, this can be a profit taken level. So you'd be using your cloud. And then right here is an inside and down formation. So let's go ahead and identify those zones. I'm going to place this box right here on this entire formation. I'm not going to be a D for a T. I'm actually going to put my level just here, right before the zone, and right on the backside. Okay, so this is a 15-minute. And then down here, we have a gap fill, but we also have inside and up formations. Okay, so I'm going to use the gap fill and the inside and up formation. And this is your 15-minute zone, and this is how you would trade it. Matter of fact, you can anticipate that we are going inside and down here, inside candle. As soon as we go down, you could be going short and covering at whatever levels you may have on your chart. In this case, I have a quant pivot there. And right here, I have a gap fill. You would cover your short there as well. Okay. Now, on the flip side, if you believe that NVIDIA is a buy, you would be trying to buy the gap fill inside and up formation. What's really important about this is that this entire area is your risk. Okay. And you can see prices at about 616 and some change. And then underneath it, again, don't be a D for a T. You're actually going to go just a little underneath there. We expect price to come here. And this is where we want traders to show up. Okay. And what's really important about this is anytime that we are trending, starting to trend down, and we get these bounces up, what do we call that? We call that a relief bounce. How do we identify relief bounces? We take the trend of the day, so right here where the trend started, and for me, it starts right there and it comes all the way down here. So I'm going to anchor my Fibonacci's on this candle, come down to the pivot low, And you're going to see that when price pushed to the upside, it hit the 38.2. I can't make this stuff up. When we are in a downtrend, the 38.2 and 23.6 is what we call a bear channel. You want to stay short in this particular trend as long as price stays and closes under the 38.2 and the 23.6. For example, I will stay in my NASDAQ short right now, which I'm in right now, and I have not gotten out of it because we hit the red zone this morning. Okay. Now, in trading, it's very easy to fall into the trap of keep trying to buy something. And this is where even I want to get better and continue to get better is when the market has been extremely bullish and we just keep on trying to buy the dip, but the dip keeps dipping. In many cases, it's because people are not looking at the higher time frames. Okay, extended, right? Those type of things. Maybe we're hitting a supply zone. In this particular case, we don't have a supply zone at the moment. We have pivots, and we are intraday trading. So the original question was, when using 5 to 15 minute, maybe 20, maybe 30-minute, identify your inside and up and inside and down. And then I want you to apply that to where you want to get in. Don't speculate. What I mean by that are these are your two major zones. You should have already had an entry that was placed here today. You already knew this level was here before the market opened. Now, once we created the formations, now we can identify the supply zone or the pivot because we're on a 15-minute. And now we have two opposing zones. And because of that, I believe with confidence that our trading range is going to be somewhere between these two pivots for the rest of the day. Where am I wrong? When price closes above this box here, and if price closes below this box. So anybody that's trying to sell credit and those type of things, you can try to use that. Okay. So that should answer your questions. We're going to use zones to take your profits. We're going to use Fibonacci's to take profits. You're going to identify those zones by using the formations that I teach you. And on top of that, you can also use the cloud as a profit taking level. I hope that helped you guys. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. And don't forget to check us out at Simpler Trading.